Hello and welcome to The Broken Elevator, where we pitch film toilets too scared to make. I'm Tam, and this week Stella's pitching The Simpsons!
I wanted to, start off with like simple and then like lead you into.
I was expecting the horror treehouse.
Oh yeah, I forgot. Sorry.
Are you doing the Treehouse of Terror?
Yeah, this is the thing. Yeah, I don't really know if it's going to be like scary. It's going to be scary to me because it's quite personal to me. It will make sense as I speak about it, but like in the context of like a treehouse episode, it might not be.
Listen, The Simpsons, yeah, every friggin' Treehouse episode is terrifying, in my eyes, anyway.
Really?
Yes, my days, how can you have an episode where they're tearing off their freaking skin and they're dancing around?
That only happens right at the end.
Yeah, that's
still
true.
Freaks me out for life, man. That stuff is not...
I
No.
think the only one that freaked me out was probably the Shining one.
But no TV, no beer makes Homer go crazy,
Something.
something. That was pretty funny to me. I don't know.
I mean...
I think because by that point I hadn't actually watched The Shining yet. So
I still
was like,
haven't, so maybe
I don't
that's
get
why.
these references, but this is weird.
Yeah. Now, I just thought there was just something a bit odd about it. To be honest, let's look at The Simpsons themselves. They look weird. Yeah, like they look strange, but they're like human.
But do you know why that was though? Do you know why they decided to make them yellow and not like?
Isn't it because like he knew it was going to be on TV, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. So the reason they did that is because basically they wanted it to stand out amongst like other cartoons at the time. Because obviously, like the normal like white people's skin is.
Deep that.
Sorry to white listeners. Peach or like.
Don't worry, they cool with us.
Yeah,
Don't
they
worry.
know my home dogs are out there. Shout out to my white home dogs. Yeah, so they basically did yellow, and that's kind of like why Marge has like got blue hair, and like they've all got kind of weird extra details.
I learned that
like...
this morning because like I watched one of them YouTube videos, them 107 facts about this.
Oh my god! Whoa!
No, do you know what? Just to like drop my mind on The Simpsons, 'cause it's actually been a long time since it was on Channel 2. We used to run home from school just to watch
Fresh
The Simpsons.
Prince, wasn't it like Fresh Prince?
Listen,
and then...
that was genius on the BBC's
So neither of
part.
you were watching Star Trek before that then?
Oh,
No, I was. What are you talking about?
I mean,
just checking.
yeah, of course I did. Yeah, I know about all those aliens. Yeah.
Klingons
So no.
and
No,
things.
not really. You have to remember, yeah, I'm obviously a little bit younger than you guys, so obviously, like, for me, that was, like, I had to be something that's going to really capture my small brain, you know?
Yeah.
And that was The Simpsons for me, and obviously Fresh Prince. Cause of,
Yeah,
No.
no.
We get Will.
Honestly,
Yeah.
the BBC did a madness by like having The Simpsons and Fresh Prince kind of back to back, because it was kind of like, hey, here's a cartoon that all the kids are gonna like, and then here's a family of black people that you're gonna grow up to love. I thought that was genius. Come on, they did it on
Both
purpose.
hilarious.
They must have.
It was
Prime time as well. When you come back from school, food's ready. You're all just chilling on the sofa.
Oh, that's because you're a boy. If you're like a girl like me, you'd have to be the one cooking that.
Yeah,
you wouldn't be
should
like,
cook for
oh,
you.
yeah, but like, I'll get into the kitchen. Oh, okay. I'll see that jollof rice in a minute. I was not like just
Actually,
chilling.
don't watch that. My parents forced me to cook as
Exactly.
well.
What are you talking
You're
about?
right, you're
It's
right.
a see
Well,
even
luckily
the
I had a
viewers.
TV in the kitchen, so I had the best of both.
Oh,
Yeah.
fancy that Star Trek life, though. Wait, Star Trek's the one with Spock, right? It is.
Yes.
Okay, cool. That's what I need to remember. Okay, fine.
So Treehouse.
Do either of you still watch The Simpsons then at all?
No, they need to cancel it. That's
Ooh.
like, I mean, this is as a fan, okay? Like everyone knows, yeah, that post like season 10 or whatever, that's when it all went to.
Is it
For
that
me.
is it that it went downhill, or is it that Family Guy came along and
Lampooned it.
Yeah, not that I think Family Guy's better, because I actually prefer The Simpsons. However, Family Guy has that, is up to date with the type of humour. We got really short attention spans in this kind of generation, and Family Guy just works with that, and so does kind of South Park.
That's true.
But The Simpsons had a story. It had these.
Yeah.
Each episode was this longer story, and there was always a kind of moral.
Yeah,
Like,
there were layers, especially in the
to that thing,
earlier
man.
seasons. There were like some deep, like moral, like.
And you go back and you watch it now. And it's funny. The Simpsons are so good because everyone can watch it, and everyone's laughing at different things depending on their age. But as you grow older, you go back and you kind of laugh.
You start clocking different things that you didn't realise when you were younger, right?
Yeah.
That is such a great thing. That's why I think it's so timeless, because it's kind of like, I can still watch it today and be like, oh my God, that gag that I didn't get when I was 10, 11 makes so much sense. And the references, because they reference so much popular culture. Like, that's one thing that's like, that they're like the innovators for that. Things like Family Guy.
That's why I don't know if you can tell, but I am a bit of a man-child. But
no, couldn't tell.
I still watch The Simpsons on a regular basis.
What, like the current?
Yep, season.
No,
he's got that Sky. He's still paying that Sky.
Oh, okay.
Yes, I'm watching it on Sky.
Oh my God.
Yes.
Sky.
Yeah, and I still watch it, and yeah, of course. Definitely it has changed, but I don't think it's a change for the worse. It's sort of evolved. It's because it's seen that, there are these other animated series, there's all like mostly on Fox, a few on Adult Swim and stuff, which have parodied the sort of old time late 80s, mid 90s values of those early episodes. And it's realised that, if it wants to keep going, if it wants to sort of keep current, it has to change.
Yeah.
So it's almost like with every 5 years or so, there is another animated show which sort of
comes along as sort of a
copies what it was doing during that 5-year period. So, for example, right now, I'd say the past 5 series or so has been mostly focused on Marge and Homer's relationship. Even though, back in the day, every once in a while there'd be an episode where it's like Homer and the dancer, Marge and that bowling guy. But every maybe like every 5 episodes now, it's a sort of a thing where Marge doesn't trust Homer. They're going through like a rough patch.
Yeah, it's true though. They need to develop that, because that's the thing about The Simpsons. Like, it's so great because it's so random, but at the same time they have the ability to actually really hone in on like basic stuff like that, like relationships, like just basic because I mean, let's be honest, like Homer's horrible, like as a husband, like regarding
he's naff.
Just so wow.
But everybody roots for him because it's Homer, and he's it's just everyone's like, oh,
yeah, exactly. There isn't another character on TV at the moment that is, how do I put this, as lovable as The Simpsons. So
arguably, I mean,
like lovable and familiar. So when that series ends, there's going to be a very sort of noticeable gap.
Not really. Repeats are there for a reason. Do you know what I mean?
As in, just like as in new stuff. Maybe for me, as someone who's still watching it,
I feel like Bob's Burgers though is probably doing that. Like Bob's Burgers to me seems like.
Big. But I don't think it's as big, man. Right now, everybody cares about Morty and what's his name?
Rick and Morty. No, but in terms of like that whole like.
Watched one episode.
Yeah, same.
Yeah.
In terms of like that nuclear family, like everyone's quirky, everyone's got different characteristics. I feel like Bob's Burgers is probably the closest comparison. That
I mean,
made,
maybe about 2 years ago there was a crossover with The Simpsons and Family Guy.
I never saw that.
And they had a fight, innit?
Yeah. But in that episode, there was, because it's a Family Guy episode, there was a sort of cutaway gag where Homer and Peter Griffin were in a biplane and they were having a dogfight, and like they shoot another plane down. Homer's like, "We did it!" Peter's like, "Yeah, we did it," and Bob is like, "Yeah, we did it." It's like, you did nothing. We're just carrying you.
I just realised.
It's peak.
Oh, that's not fair. They should have had the wife do it from Bob's Burgers, because she's definitely like the driving force of that family. Like, she's super like. Have you guys like seen Bob's Burgers? But she's super like like she's like from Jersey, and she sounds like a man, and she's very like, oh no, Peter. What I was gonna say, Peter. I think of Lois. So getting my New Jersey cartoon characters mixed up again, but.
Boy. Well, yeah, Simpsons, timeless. There's been a ton of Treehouse, things. Has there been a film? Has there been a horror film?
No.
There hasn't. So technically...
They just did that one, abysmal attempt at a film in, 2000, the Simpsons movie.
I really liked that film.
I think it would have worked as a TV show.
Okay.
So you're doing a Treehouse of Terror episode or film?
Yeah, you know what? let's figure that out at the end. Let's see, once I've pitched, let's see what works better, you know?
Let's see
the movie,
how much you have.
Yeah, that's true, yeah. I mean, I've got like 2 pages, so okay, cool. So, my concept for this film/episode is basically Simpsons go to South London. What represent SW?
Yeah.
What? I mean, I'm SW1, so I feel like I can't even say it like that. I'd be like, what? SW1?
So what? You're going to add Morleys in this thing, yeah?
Oh, you know what? Just for the sake of you, I've actually not added Morleys. Because I understand that my, non-South Londoners out there will be offended that, Morleys have to have a reference.
I don't even know what a Morley's is.
Oh my god. A
Bro, you're doing all right.
Morley's! What is a Morley's?
Who is this Morley you speak of?
Okay.
And what is his establishment?
No, well, that's for another day. Do you know what I mean? Let's not go there. But yes, essentially, my pitch today is there was no Simpsons movie, the movie, Treehouse of Horror episode, blah blah blah. Simpsons go to South London. So basically, a blip in the universe by Professor Frink. I had to look that up. I can't remember what his name is. Like the flies invasion, that really crazy one.
Time and the travel.
Wow, 10 out of 10.
Practicing, baby. Practicing.
Means the Simpsons get sucked into an alternative universe. So I was kind of trying to base it on like that episode where Homer, the Treehouse of Horror episode where Homer gets into the 4th dimension?
Yeah.
He steps into the... Do you remember that epic, such a classic episode? So I was kind of like trying to... do that with the whole family.
And he's like 3D.
And he steps in through the wall and they're trying to look for him or trying to find him. Yeah, that's basically what I'm trying to essentially base it on. But so then he enters the 4th dimension and the 4th dimension is South London. So what? Sorry, I don't know what that was.
Those sounds are so timing.
I really hope they pick that up.
They probably do.
The South London police. But yeah, so I'm basically basing this on essentially my experience going to uni in Southeast London. So I mentioned earlier that I'm from like SW1 Europe, Central. And so obviously for me, going to like a uni in Southeast was quite a transition, I'd say. Especially nowadays, regarding like, not to get too political, but like gentrification and like the grime scene and class and all that stuff. So I thought it would be interesting to explore how The Simpsons would do with that. Because there was obviously that episode where they went to London, I think, or England or whatever, and it was obviously very, like, stereotypical, like, Big bowler hats, Big Ben, bulldogs and all that. Yeah, I couldn't remember, for the life of me, I couldn't remember the whole episode, so I was literally like, was that Harry Potter? Yeah, there's all these, like, annoying references.
Big deal of it coming to London.
Can you tell me what happens to Harry Potter? He grows up and marries you. Is that what you want to hear? Yes.
Lisa.
Oh, literally. So then I thought, okay, that was a cool concept and everything, but obviously, like, the Simpsons, like, writers obviously aren't, like, that clued up with, like, London, per se, compared to somebody who's actually from London. So I thought, why not? Why don't I take it upon myself, make myself, like, a Simpsons writer, get them, over to South East London, represent, blah, blah, whatever. And so specifically kind of, like, New Cross area, which is where I went to uni.
Yeah.
Anyone knows about New Cross, don't know. So yeah, so I've basically written it in a sense where each, kind of like how an episode would be, so each character kind of has their own sort of individual thing that they're going through in the episode. It just goes between them. So Homer has his own situation, Marge has her own, and then etc. etc. That's the only way I could sort of think about like how I'd like extend it into like a movie type thing, But yeah, so the plot basically follows the family in different areas, aspects of South London, based on my own personal experiences of South London. So with Lisa, Lisa is sucked into the world of student politics. Lisa's quite the overachiever. I think, yeah, exactly, like the SU. She's a vegetarian, so she's obviously quite passionate about animals. Yeah, right, like Goldsmith's like proper quintessential, like... But actually, what I realised is, like, the new age of, like, vegetarianism is now veganism.
Yeah.
So I feel like it'll be quite interesting to explore her, like, difficulties with...
a vegan.
Ooh, yeah, like, whether is she willing to give up, the cheese, the milk, the eggs, is she willing to really, like, delve into, like... Basically, I kind of based it on the episode where... was it the summer episode where they all go to that, like, seaside town or whatever? And then, like, Lisa then becomes, like, really popular. with all those sort of new kids, like really like red, like, oh my god, Chad or whatever, and they're like, and she like has like a skateboard, she has like Bart's skateboard.
I think I remember this one,
and then Bart gets like super jealous because he's like, oh, what the hell, like I want friends, or like he does all those annoying tricks.
And then he basically embarrasses her.
Yeah. So I basically based it on like the idea of like Lisa always wanting some form of like acceptance, because she probably doesn't really get it much from her family, seeing as like they're super different from her, and she's like super like extraordinary.
She's as weird as the rest of them. I don't know what you're talking about.
No, but she obviously feels like a sense of like, oh, I can't really get on with, you know, everyone else because I'm like a super genius and everyone's like in their own sort of lane. She has a lot of like moments where she's sort of in her own world. Don't you feel? I don't know. I'm quite the psychoanalyst when it comes to these things. But yeah, so I thought that would be interesting. The whole premise of the film as well is that so they've all got their own little things that they encounter in South London, but they've got a certain amount of time where they have to achieve a certain task, otherwise they're sort of stuck there and they can't return to Springfield.
Okay.
So I tried to like tie it in to make it seem like, oh, how are they gonna like, you know, get back to Springfield or whatever. So with hers, it's that she essentially is trying to become the president of like the SU or whatever, but then her issue is the Vegan Society. They're like her main like rivals or opposers essentially. So with her, it's like, how am I gonna give up my morals just so that I can be like, you know, the good guy or the good girl or whatever, or am I gonna like just stay true and just try and get
Maybe
the votes?
She really likes cake.
Cake.
Maybe she really likes a particular type of cake that her mum makes or something like that, and like, in order to go to the next step of her vegetarianism, vegan, she has to like give up that cake, and it's this whole idea of her giving up a part of herself to become like the vegans in terms of impressing them so that she could eventually become...
It's like a microcosm or something. I like that. Okay. Sweet, okay.
They can make it like, listen, and no disrespect to vegans, because you guys... You got
shout out to all my vegans.
You guys got superpowers. I've been saying this from time. But it could be... But there's a couple people that obviously make it such a big deal. They make you feel horrible if you're not a vegan, right? Shout out to all my vegans that don't do that, yeah? But you could literally have like maybe the leader of that vegan group be all like, Lisa, you know, in order to do this, you must join us, but you must give up that cake.
Yeah,
and
like...
she's like, oh.
I was just like, oh, but I don't know. She has like a whole moral dilemma.
And then you could have like... Then they could, you know, put it on her in a sense because they see her brother.
Yeah.
And her brother's like completely different.
Yeah.
So it's like, you don't want to be like Bart. You don't want to be like him, dude.
It's like a zoom in on her face and then a zoom in on Bart like doing something stupid.
Yeah. So that's her dilemma.
Yeah, that's her one. So then, so Bart is introduced to the world of grime.
Oh snap!
I'm trying to explore different areas of Southeast. You know what I mean? So you've got the hipster side, we've got the, you know, the grime side. Shout out to all my grime listeners. So he lands himself in an underground grime scene, right?
Yeah, so catch himself in Peckham, man. That's what he does.
Yeah, exactly.
He's got Peckham.
Yeah. So the horror ensues when there are no black people whatsoever.
He's used to that. How many black people in Springfield?
Yeah, no, but... Okay, hold on. Lenny or Carl? I can't remember which one's which. What's like the one that Homer's funny?
I think it's
Lenny.
Carl. It's Carl.
Okay. For the longest time, I don't know who's who.
To be honest, that's terrible that we don't remember that.
Yeah, exactly, right? Exactly.
Carl's my G, though.
Oh my G. You're Donnie, yeah? Okay.
My Donnie.
So the underground scene has been taken over by a new breed of human, the gripster.
The gripster?
The grime hipster.
Okay.
The gripster.
Okay. It's really funny because to Americans this would literally seem like some next world, but this is the world we live in.
That's what I mean. So obviously, like, this is why like Hollywood wouldn't pitch it, because it's so like indigenous to a specific region of like London, or not even like north or kind of east, I guess. I don't know, sort of west. It's very like south, you know.
Yes.
But so they're middle class. They usually own records, maybe wear Vans, you know, things like this. Is the stereotypes that we're all used to.
Yeah.
They might write think pieces that no one asked for on the origin of grime music. It's getting so controversial.
Does that happen quite a lot?
Dude, again, I need to make sure I don't get too political because this could go another way. So Bart has to restore the pure essence of grime before he can return back to Springfield.
Right, but Bart's yellow.
Yeah, but like, I don't know. I feel like with Bart, I was just trying to keep it like.
But then I'm not gonna lie. There's like... something about Bart. He's got a high top. I've been thinking. Even Mudge, she's got like fucking afro hair. Well. Listen, really, they should be black.
Yeah, there is a bit of like genetic like alternative. Something went wrong in a genetic pool, basically, somewhere like down the line.
Nah, Tam, maybe. Can we be in agreement that really the Simpsons should be black?
No.
He really thought about it there for a minute. He was like, I don't.
I guess I was imagining it like there's one episode where Homer looks at his kids and then they turn human.
Yeah.
And he's just like,
they eat cereal. That's like that. Like, yeah, they're having breakfast.
I was just thinking of that, but they turn black. And I'm like,
they should do like an alternative version of that scene. So literally that, and then black.
He's like, black people then.
He's like, oh god. Yeah. So I don't really know what the true essence of grime is, but I don't know. Like, if I had the time to really explore it, then I could go into more themes.
It could just be a section of like, you know, you seeing him spending time with a particular community. So you don't have to make it about them being black. They can be black, but it's like he stumbles into this particular community and he's like so interested in it because it has this kind of aggression and this vibe and this hype, which he has been, you know, always told off for being, right? So Bart's always been a bit rowdy and he's never really been sort of shown people who are like him or taught that it's not necessarily bad that he wants to be adventurous and he wants to skate and he wants to shoot slingshots. And him being in the grime scene, it's almost like here are all these people who might have had similar kind of aggressions that they needed to express or release, and he really gels with that. But then he noticed, and they bring him in because they're like, yeah, but you're the guy, right?
Yeah.
And then the new kids on the block come along, and they kind of
remember that episode. That's the only like reference I could think about with I think the episode was called like New. It's like a NSYNC like reference, basically. Remember the ends, just the one scene that I remember.
Oh my god, it's NSYNC!
Yeah,
word.
No, you forgot. It's the music. They have the little word. And every time they exit the room or enter the room, they just keep doing that.
Gonna hit it old school. Yeah.
Oh, we got that and what was that old school like 90s hip hop like trio? And then like they go to that party and then it's like the orchestra's there. What was it? And then
Cypress Hill.
Yeah, Cypress Hill.
Yeah,
it's like give us a jail.
When they go to Lollapalooza or something like that.
Music festival.
Homer is like the human cannonball thing.
Yeah.
And he's like almost gonna die because if he does one more round, he'll die or something. And then like I was just like coming back from my memory, but yeah. So that's Bart's king. And then Homer. This is so random. Okay, so Homer's starving. And is struggling to find somewhere to eat. Okay, that's a normal Homer thing. We all know about that. All the local fried chicken shops have either gone under construction, i.e. been closed down.
Wow.
By gentrification.
Okay. Oh, wow.
It's a horror episode.
Morley's,
Listen, this is why I wrote chicken shop and not Morley's. So I want this to be inclusive for all Londoners.
Be authentic,
yeah.
Okay,
fine. So all the Morleys are shut down, and there's no PFCs available. You know, KFC's not even in his radar. XYZ, right? The Chicken Connoisseur has given several of these places bad reviews, so you know they've been shut down.
Okay, cool.
So they've been shut down one way or another.
I think he would be super excited the fact that he was in a Simpsons episode.
What, the Chicken Connoisseur?
Yeah,
it'd be interesting to see him in like
him drawing.
I could see him and Homer being rivals.
Right. That's what I mean. Like, so he goes around to each like restaurant that Homer really likes and just shuts it down for some reason, like or every chicken establishment. It's just like, God damn it, like. Yeah, I can definitely see that happening. But so Homer only has one option to order from the Jamaican takeaway.
Oh, dire.
And if anyone has been to again, no disrespect to my Jamaican listeners.
Jamaica.
I feel like I'm gonna get like just super like.
No, but listen, even most Jamaicans know that the majority of the Jamaican shops, they're just a little bit rude.
They're a little bit. The customer service isn't the best. It's not where it could be.
Yeah, but is that new for Homer Simpson, though?
Maybe not, but I feel like it would be interesting to explore that specific...
Because I think of that comic book shop, right?
The comic book guy.
That guy is so rude.
Yeah, but Homer's never really there, though.
I know,
so he never really sees it.
I just imagine every customer service, person...
establishment in
Springfield is just...
Oh, no, but not Apu, though. Man like Apu.
He puts up with a lot.
He puts... Oh, no.
Listen, you know what's so jokes about that? Like, everybody did that, yeah. Like, but now I'm sure if I did that now,
you mean like you just did?
Like I just
like
did.
You just did.
I would get in trouble. Thank you. Come again. Oh,
and you did.
Dave.
It's because it was so badly done. Do you know what I mean? I'm not gonna try. I mean, I know I can, but I'm not gonna. I feel like.
Listen, Apu got a wife as well, innit? And he got like kids.
They've got like 8 kids, right?
Man knows her name. You did well.
Obviously.
Why do you suddenly sound surprised that I know things about The Simpsons?
The quiet assassin. It's because like he's just been listening, like okay, making sure we get our facts right. But in reality, he's like, oh, they don't know anything. He's just like waiting to interject. Like, God, guys, come. But yeah, so
okay, so Homer Simpson is effectively trying to find something to eat.
Yeah, before he can return back to
you know what? It could affect. No, you shouldn't just go with the eat thing. You should go with the eat and to drink.
Okay.
Duff beer is his favourite thing, right? And they don't do anything like Duff beer. They do all this fancy organic because it's been gentrified. They're doing all this fancy organic sort of stuff, and he's just looking for Duff beer.
That's true.
You can't find it, and when he eventually finds something that's remotely similar to it, it's ridiculously priced.
Yeah, and it's not even the same. It's like literally like. Yeah, I can see that happening. I can see that. I was gonna like trying to explore like the Jamaican theme a bit more though, like Jamaican takeaway theme.
Nah, I think that should be more of a. Personally, I think that should be more of a situation he finds himself in, not necessarily the main part. But that's just me. This is your pitch, not mine.
Thank you for reminding you and everybody listening that this is my pitch and not yours. So back to what I was saying. Okay, because you didn't even let me finish. I literally had like 3 lines left, and you literally cut me off. Okay, sweet.
Sorry.
Oh my god. Oh, okay.
You get used to it.
Oh, mate. Okay.
You don't.
It's okay. You just have silence. That's just your way of dealing with it. Just let him do his thing. Okay. So the gag here, what I wanted to establish with that theme with Homer, is that the idea that obviously they tend to run out of a lot of their like most popular items. You sort of turn up and it's sort of like, oh, can I get this? And they're like, oh, okay, I'll let you do it. Like you rock up and it's like, oh, can I get like a patty or whatever? And they're like. What do they say?
They say, me no.
They say this community blunt. They're just like, me no.
No.
Finish.
Yeah, that one.
Done.
Finish them.
Oh, finish them.
And then you just get home and like, no.
Yeah, no, that's what I'm saying. So he goes through each item on the menu. And it's just
nah, when he eventually finds one, he's got to do that. Whoop, 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 whoop,
just the
thing. Homer's the best, you know.
But then also I thought wouldn't it be interesting if Patty and Selma were working there? Because he obviously has a really problematic relationship with like his
like
wife's
a black
sisters.
version of some Jamaican black version of Patty and Selma. Like,
that wouldn't even be. That would actually, I feel like that could work.
That would work too well. That's a bit scary.
That's a bit too, and they basically work there, so they're like the reason that he can't get fed, essentially. Because you know how much they don't like him. Me no have that.
You want patty? Go somewhere else.
We got some Selma. You want patty? We got Selma. Oh, that was terrible. Okay, fine. Okay, and then Marge. Right, so Marge. That was like the hardest one for me because I was literally like, she's got like the least substance in my head regarding like, compared to all the other characters. I didn't really know how to really give her own sort of spotlight, especially in South London. I don't know. So I tried
sorry, go on. I was going to say she's got Maggie. And that whole dynamic of her being a mother is...
This is what's ironic. Like, I feel like I've given Maggie more of a storyline
wow.
than I've given Marge.
It's peak.
Yo, shout out to all my Marge listeners.
It's not doing its thing right about now. Let's sort it out.
I don't know, like, because she's just like the housewife. Do you know what I mean? Like, she's got like obviously her own little, I guess, personality or whatnot. But it's not. I don't know. It's just not enough for me personally.
Sam, what do you think? Because I feel like there's been episodes. Well, they've probably done it on purpose. To flesh Marge out a little bit.
Yeah, definitely.
She is the housewife, right?
Yeah, but she's so much more than that. I mean, even...
Oh, here we go. Silent assassin, go on.
Oh, man, too much pressure. In The Simpsons and in a lot of sort of sitcoms, they have what I call, and what they probably actually do call, the idiot stick.
Okay.
So, there might be one episode where a character is a completely competent person and they're not the person being particularly funny in that episode. But then in the next episode, the person who was just making the complete wrong decisions in the previous episode is being competent, or they've passed the idiot stick onto the other one so they can make the funny lines.
Okay.
And stuff like that. So even if you're looking at Marge, while there's ones where she's being like the stern mother, there's ones where she's like talking about an uncle who decided to go crazy and shoot people and we'll never talk about him again.
Yeah.
And it's like, blah, 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 like one uncle did one frosty winter morning.
Yeah.
Just so there are times where she does sort of have those funny lines.
So we don't blame you for like...
Yeah, no, I mean, I definitely thought of something, so I wasn't going to just, like, leave her out. That'd be super awkward. Just, it seems to be about Marge. But, I don't know. I feel like it's not as strong as it could be. But, so Marge only has a certain amount of cash, right? She has to manage to do a weekly shop with the amount of cash that she's got. Unfortunately... That's
jokes.
she's only subject to overpriced independent stores or super empty Icelands and Lidls. So she's in a dilemma. Because I was trying to think about, like, class, right? Because that's something that we don't really touch, like, we don't really think that much about regarding The Simpsons. Because they're obviously quite a well-off family. They're, like, sort of middle class. Like, well-off, like, regarding, like, their own individual...
They've got a dog,
they've got a dog, they've got a cat, nice house, decent suburban area.
A giant flipping statue of some tribal statue in their basement, which I don't know how they get in and out.
Yeah, so I was kind of like, okay... What would it be like if you're like middle class and you've just sort of been put in this South London? You don't know how to really navigate, you don't really know where to shop, you've got a certain amount of money.
Yep.
And obviously like all the Icelands have been raided, all the Lidls have been raided, all the, cheap places are just not, So I was kind of trying to think about, because with Marge as well, like she does tend to want to assimilate quite a bit as well. I was just trying to reference, what's that episode with the suit, with Marge's suit, where she has that pink...
Oh, the pink Chanel suit?
Yeah, she becomes like all fancy and like trying to go to all these like country clubs and and she just realises how out of touch she is with like all the other like ladies.
Based on how she's dressed.
Essentially, yeah. And the fact that she's like never leaves the house basically, unless she's like doing like family errands or looking after Maggie or whatever. So it's kind of like, I was trying to like explore that theme regarding her in like South London and how she'd navigate. Like, would she try and assimilate? Would she try and like make friends? Like, guys, like guys are in a money, Sorry, that was awful, but
yeah, I guess. I mean, what would be kind of cool is if she's meeting all the other kind of mums.
Yeah, exactly, definitely, yeah.
What's that thing that Adib always talks about? There's the rules for when you're writing women in stories to avoid being sexist.
It's controversial.
Anyone remember?
Are you talking about the Bechdel test?
That's the test I'm talking about.
Okay.
So, like, Marge will have to interact with all these different type of women.
Yeah. Oh, right. I know what you're talking about.
So it could be in the supermarket and her bumping into, and it could be a really surreal experience.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
It's like if we have to get these women to talk to each other, it has to be in the supermarket.
Oh my god! Also,
where else could they do it?
I mean,
in the kitchen. Who knows?
It's horror. We could be doing what Get Out did, fam.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Maybe, it would be quite interesting seeing in a completely different, like, non-stereotypically female, like, setting, or... I was trying to keep it true to the character, do you know what I mean? This is a shout-out to the Simpsons writers, you need to give Marge more substance, like, she's more than just a housewife, but yeah, so that was Marge's. And then Maggie's, which is, like, my personal favourite, because it's so personal, and I feel like a lot of, like, other... women of African or Caribbean descent will understand where I'm coming from. So Maggie accidentally finds herself in a black hair salon. She is amongst the hair weaves and bundles that get swept away.
Oh my days.
So she's trapped basically, and she doesn't know what she's doing. So basically I'm seeing it from, because obviously Maggie is a non-verbal character, so it's essentially just her observing this whole tirade. And I feel like for someone like me who's like very like awkward in these situations, like I totally see myself as like a Maggie in these scenarios where you're sort of waiting to get your hair done. There's a queue, there's hours of like just endless, I don't know, sort of blackness getting thrust left, right and centre. You're just sort of there like, I don't know how to assimilate. Should I, be cool and be like, yo, or should I, just be true and be like, well, I don't know what you guys are... Or listen to like the Nigerian like Afro beats that's like playing like continuously throughout your session. Like, that's a new one. So yeah, and so I kind of wanted to also integrate like another baby, kind of like what's Maggie's like enemy. You know how Maggie has like a baby, like the monobrow baby that she sort of always like. What's that one episode that they would always see each other from across the room and give that sort of death stare, like. Yeah, so I'm basically imagining like a black baby.
I knew you were going to ask that.
Under pressure!
No, I don't remember.
His eyes diverted downwards. He was like, ooh.
We're just going to call it the monobrow baby.
Monobrow baby.
Yeah, monobrow.
Oh, it might be worth Googling. I probably should have done it myself, but well, that's for another day. But yeah, so I'm basically imagining like a version of that baby in the salon and just the dynamics between them, just give it a bit more substance and to see like what kind of...
What it would be cool if Marge went there with Maggie.
Okay.
Because
obviously get her hair did, yeah?
Yeah, I'm sitting there thinking, because Marge has an afro. I don't care what nobody says, man. Marge has an afro.
That's a good point, actually.
Like, she's in there and she's like, whoa, like, she needs somewhere to get her hair done. And she probably sees similar wigs inside the shop, because they got all sorts of wigs
definitely.
in those kind of shops, you know?
And the colours as well.
And the colours, exactly. So she's like, I'm looking for blue.
I'm looking for blue.
Don't want to bump into some yardies, you know?
Oh my god. Dude.
I know, I'm trouble.
No, that's true though. That could work. That's pretty.
And then obviously Maggie gets lost there at the counter or something like that. You
know? The intro, when she's like getting beat at the supermarket.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, so that was like... So the only... and I basically wrote for Maggie, I was like, okay, so the only way she can get back to Springfield is if... the other baby has a mum there who's getting her hair done. And so the only way Maggie can get back to Springfield is if that woman's hair is done within a 3-hour time period. Which, can I just say, for the listeners out there who understand where I'm coming from, when you go to a hairdresser, I don't know how it is for dudes, but like for girls, it's like you're literally, even if you book an appointment, you'll literally be there
for a
triple the time that you know.
We have that when we cut our hair, right? But to be honest, that's when you haven't booked an appointment.
Yeah,
but
I mean,
you have to book an appointment to get your hair cut.
You can.
Oh right.
But you can either go in and then wait like half an hour, or
an hour.
I've never waited an hour.
I've waited an hour a couple of times.
I've had an undercut done before. Well, I did it once and then it was fine. The second time I went, it was awful.
Okay, hear this.
Like, yep.
Hear this.
Go on.
This pitch is a horror movie, right? Yeah. Mm-hmm. Is a horror Simpsons horror treehouse, but really it's the Simpsons in Black South London.
I mean,
like effectively, that's what it is.
Okay, apart from like Elisa, essentially.
No, but that is. It's kind of like a story of the black, partly the black experiences, but you're using the Simpsons to kind of demonstrate that, because there's plenty of white people in South London.
Yeah,
there's plenty of like people going through all sorts of different struggles, but this one seems like it's honing in, and naturally, because I guess everybody here is of African descent. So, the reason I like it so much is because to people who don't know, it would be a horror story.
Okay,
you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
To people who don't know about that, it would just be the surreal world. So it kind of makes sense from a metaphorical sense to make it a treehouse.
Yeah,
I mean, I have been spending the past half hour taking all of this in and trying to form it into an actual episode.
Yeah.
And I reckon, depending on how you sort of order things, it could work as one of those The Simpsons go to wherever sort of episodes. Yeah. As long as there is something that happens in Springfield that does take it back, take them specifically to South London. Because the way the format usually works is either one in the family or an unrelated character does something, and then the family react to that, and then that leads to the rest of the story. So it could be that. Give me a random character.
Flanders.
Yeah,
all
right. Flanders visiting the church in Peckham, fam.
I literally wrote. I literally wrote that down because I mean I was going to say like as like a running. So to kind of I guess help that point a little bit, because I realised that, right, and so I was kind of like. Okay, I can't really bring it back to Springfield because essentially my mind is still in South London. But I thought it would be interesting to use Flanders as sort of the running theme throughout this whole episode, where it sort of goes back to him in a Pentecostal church for some reason.
No.
Just random like.
Careful now.
So he's no. Hey, I mean, like I've been there, I've done that. We all have. You know what I mean? Like he steps in. It's very new to him. He's very like, Flannerino, and sort of him just integrating into that. I kind of wanted to use it like, the music.
It'd have to be a different one because
What do you mean?
Pentecostal thing is big in America.
Oh, okay.
So it's like, in fact, I even think Flanders probably goes to a service that's kind of similar. The reason I point that out is because in Peckham specifically, it's a very African black kind of church environment. So in my mind, sorry, just to cut
I haven't even finished my train of thought didn't even leave the station.
Yeah, you're supposed to be the Simpsons expert.
Oh, no.
Yeah, and guess who stopped me?
Wait, was it me or was it him? It was him, right?
Both.
Oh.
Sorry, let him go. Let him land.
Okay, so I've actually been, once again, absorbing what you've just said and trying to work it into an episodic format. Mm-hmm. So what it could be is that more and more people have been going to the Pentecostal church across the road from the Springfield church, and Reverend Lovejoy is like, that's not good. And then Flanders is like, I'm sure I can sort something out. So he thinks, because of the music in the Pentecostal church, it's all just jolly and stuff. They need to make a music video. And Bart and... just hear me out. I can see your look of skepticism on your face. So Bart hears that this is the plan. He's like, I know what I'm going to do. Grime. I'm going to do a grime video because grime is starting to be noticed in America. So
Drake. Get a Drake feature, like a celebrity.
Exactly. So Bart and Milhouse, the two of them, because there is an episode that establishes that Milhouse is a massive rap fan because he's a suburban white guy.
Yeah.
So the two of them make a grime video, and across the pond, BBK notice.
Yo, what?
So,
oh my god!
So they're like, yo, you need to come over to London. We'll hang out.
Why are you? He's put an American accent.
No.
Sound like a British guy. I'm like, mate, yo.
Yeah, because they're probably gonna get an American voice actor to do it.
Why did he actually get
loophole? Yeah. So that is what brings the family over.
Okay.
And maybe because it's a project that's going to take a few weeks or months, they're actually living there. So so they've moved into a flat, and so Marge has to get all the food. And so first of all, she goes to one of those sort of gentrified Whole Foods, super expensive places, realises, and like she does her first shop there, all the money's gone. So she realises she has to go to a cheaper shop, and she discovers Aldi or Lidl, and it's amazing to her. She gets loads of non-brand foodstuffs from there. Meanwhile, Homer, who's also there, he's trying to work, like, after that first shop, he's eaten all that food already, so he thinks, what's he going to do? So he goes to a chicken shop. He comes across a chicken connoisseur who's starting to close down all these chicken shops with his bad reviews. So the two of them sort of have beef with each other, where he's discovering the world of chicken while also trying to convince the chicken connoisseur that this place is actually okay.
Yeah.
Morley's cameo, I don't mind.
Represent.
Meanwhile, Lisa's going around with Homer, who, she doesn't eat chicken, so she's like, this is terrible. Where she discovers the vegan group protesting in front of one of the chicken places and tries to get in with them. But since she's just a vegetarian, they don't accept her.
That's it. That's fun. This is a good episode, dude. Oh my god.
Meanwhile, how am I going to fit Maggie's thing into this?
Well, Maggie gets lost. It's simple as.
Yeah.
She always gets
lost.
Yeah. And Milhouse is there too.
Why not?
With Bart. And I don't know if there are... I'm not into grime at all, but are there any grime artists who have a bit of a beef, who like sort of have conflicting approaches to the genre?
So you have Mr. Chipmunk and Mr. Bogsy Malone from Manchester.
Oh, right.
And they have beef.
Oh, yeah.
So
proper beef.
So maybe...
What accent?
I don't know.
So maybe Bart and Milhouse are starting to go down these different paths, and they're starting to split up. So Boy Better Know...
versus...
So Boy Better Know, creates a tune that brings the two of them back together again.
Yeah, that could be like the ending. Do you know how they always have
hilarious.
a nice, cute little sing-along?
Joke.
That's
I'm sorry, I'm just imagining like Jeremy in Simpsons like version.
Format, like the way. Yeah, I
like,
can see it.
I can imagine them doing his cheekbones, like
it's like do-rag, everything,
and like a little Adidas, like
stripes.
Because earlier this year they did a 1 hour Simpsons special which was rap focused.
Oh, really?
The Great Fatsby.
What, an hour? Why did they make it an hour?
Because it had a lot of celebrities in it. Oh. So it had Keegan-Michael Key playing a rapper. It had RZA. It had Snoop Dogg. It had Common.
Bruh.
Oh my God.
It had Taraji P. Henson.
Bruh. All the spectrums.
Yeah. This wouldn't be their first foray into black culture.
Yeah, no, it wouldn't be, but it'd be unique because it's Black British culture.
Yeah, exactly.
So you kind of
it's a whole other subgenre in itself.
And it's kind of make me feel like it doesn't need to be a horror, but I can see why you put the treehouse aspect in it, because it's this whole idea of this.
You wanted to transport them to,
and I guess it's an easy way of kind of
without making it too. Yeah, because obviously, I don't know about physics, so I'm not trying to get all
Nah, but I guess
neurons, this could happen. So I'll make it supernatural then, innit? To make it easier.
Because bear in mind, the Simpsons do live in our world as well. That's the thing. Like celebrities go in there.
Yeah,
so you have the room to do that. It's just when you want to have like monsters and scary things.
Oh yeah, like an actual theme that's actually technically scary and not just scary to me, like personally.
Yeah. The Simpsons in South London. So you got to put a little Cockney accent on there. I mean, to be honest, there's not many No, there are Cockneys in South London.
No, man, you can't hear the bells of Bow in South London.
So what?
Don't you know that you're only a Cockney if you're born when hearing the bells of Bow?
Right. You're actually correct.
What?
It's
a new language. I don't know what's going on right now.
I was just talking about the accent, but you're right. You don't get Cockneys in South London.
That's not true. You do. There's definitely like a pub. I feel like anyone who's from who knows what I'm referring to, but there's like a specific pub in New Cross specifically that's sort of like trying to maintain its, I don't know, Cockney essence, because all the sort of hipsters and all the young people are trying to make it their thing, but the locals are like, no, mate, this is ours. Like, you know what I mean? Oh, get out of here, you
Okay, so what is it that they need to come back in time? They need to, because obviously they're going to have to leave.
I mean, I took away that time element, but I was thinking maybe they're just in London for that, just that temporary project.
So effectively, so Flanders wanted to visit a church in South London for a particular reason. Maybe a Nigerian has sent him a letter saying that he should come to
We need your bank details immediately.
No,
please go to Hey, I'm Nigerian, okay? It's okay.
But so he's like, he wants to go. He's escorted by the Simpsons family because what's his name? Bart and Bart's friend
Milhouse.
I almost called him Fillmore.
Fillmore.
Listen,
that was a trip down memory lane. My
Fillmore's
God.
a G though. He also wears glasses.
God, I hated Fillmore. That was awful. Sorry.
We have to think of how they would get back, or why they would get back, or what they need to accomplish before they get back. So the grime video is actually Bart trying to sabotage maybe Lovejoy's promotional video, which is supposed to be a video to get them to give their money or something like that. And I guess what you can have in the end is the grime video kind of going against that whole concept of, giving your money to people who aren't going to help you out. It could be almost like a bit of a Bart's doing that because he just wants to effectively have fun. But they unravel that maybe the plan to go to South London to meet this Nigerian guy who's posing as a person who's going to do good for the church is actually not doing good for the church. He's just trying to get money from them. And Bart's grime video or whatever somehow has a revolt. It causes the plan to shambles. I don't know. All I'm really saying is you got to find a way to make all these things come together in a plot kind of fashion.
Yeah.
But to be honest, he came up with that. Not you.
All right. What?
I mean the plot.
Yeah.
The plot.
Yeah.
So, and he hasn't had the time that you have, so it's all right that we don't have the answer to that question right now.
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah, that's true.
Have you got anything else to add?
Yeah, I was just making a reference to Hercules earlier, the cartoon version. of the Muses. Do you remember those, like, the choir women on
the...
Yeah, so I was trying to, like, use...
Hercules.
Oh, my God.
They're the hero.
So I was trying to, like, use, like, Flanders, like, theme in the church as, like, a sort of... Because, you know, obviously in that film, they always would refer back to the Muses when they wanted to carry the story along.
Yeah.
And be sort of like, oh, okay, well, this is where we are in... So I kind of wanted to, like, use, like, Flanders. I don't know how he'd, like, get into the choir. Maybe he just gets overwhelmed by the Holy Spirit and compelled to, you know, jump on stage and, like, lead the choir or whatever. But I was going to, like, use them as, like, a sort of muse. Like the way that the Hercules movie did.
You want to use Flanders as a muse?
Yeah, Flanders and the choir. I don't know. That's what I'm yet to explore.
But that issue with that is that it creates it, like, the center of the story is this whole kind of religious kind of theme as opposed to South London.
Oh, that's true.
And so, I guess a religious theme isn't really the center of the experience of South London. If you had somebody narrating it like it was... Well, I know if it was in East London, having like a Cockney geezer kind of like narrating it, like, you know, doing all that, something really solidly London or South London in particular, which could be that thing that carries does the narration. So
not sure if Danny Dyer is from South specifically. I mean, he could
didn't say Danny Dyer.
Oh no, I said Danny Dyer. I know you didn't. I said Danny Dyer.
I said Guy Ritchie.
I said Danny Dyer. So,
bruv, anyway, do you know? Hold on.
I got it from like Surrey,
fam,
or something.
I got it.
I mean, that's pretty
probably.
South. No, I mean not London, but that's.
You know what you could use? You could have what's his name? The guy from Michael Caine.
Michael Caine.
I don't know. I'm just trying to find links, fam.
That's true. Michael Caine is pretty quintessentially.
Either way, they need this. It's going to end in an awesome grime video with Bart Simpson and Milhouse. That's enough for me, to be perfect.
Yeah.
From time JME made a Pokemon video.
Yeah!
You know?
He'd be down. He'd be so down. I can definitely see that happening, though. He's one of those kind of guys, so... Yeah.
And I guess Drake will pop up at some point.
Yeah, 100%. He's got to. Culture vulture, as we like to call it. Trust me, Daddy.
Has Drake been in a Simpsons episode yet?
No.
Wow.
Do we want to give him his opportunity? Like,
I mean, he's an actor though. First and foremost, let's not forget Degrassi. R.I.P. 19 whatever to. Do you know what I mean?
Do you know what Drake's cameo would just be randomly appearing in the music video. Not even like.
No one asked him to turn up. It's just a hand that keeps telling him to leave. It's just like, wait, can I put on? He would always put on the accent or try to put on some sort of London British accent as well.
I just love it. I just imagine this pan of all these, you know, black boys in trackies, and then you see him Bart in a trackie, Milhouse in a trackie, and then you carry on going, and just randomly Drake's
at the end. It's just like the camera does like a skirt, like a whoa, what happened there? Like, why is Drake here? Oh, poor Drake. I hope he's not.
It's cool. I think it has a lot of legs because The Simpsons, there's room for that. You know, you can do a lot of that. You've got these characters which everybody knows really well, and you just putting them in that situation. And I think, Simpsons is a good shout. I mean, you could have done the same with Family Guy, but I think Family Guy's a bit strange because every character can do anything.
Exactly.
That's the issue. That's not an issue, but that's why it kind of works with Simpsons for a story. Whereas Family Guy, you just put them there and just have them do stupid stuff every other second.
Or the Family Guy's listeners are like, I'm done.
For your first pitch, you got some nice ideas.
I know.
I think, they were a lot very personal, innit? Yeah, I think a lot of the time we do that as kind of writers. We try and find where we linked with the story and all of that sort of stuff. Simpsons and South London, that's funny. We'll have to put Morley's in it. We'll have to. I'm just saying that Morley's is not the best fried chicken.
I mean, again, can I just point out, I said chicken shops. I did not specify which chicken shops. You, Mr. North London, decided to throw in the Morley's. Do you know what I mean? I'm trying to make it inclusive for all listeners, okay?
Well, if you enjoyed Stella's pitch, or maybe think that we've mentioned Morley's enough times to get some sort of sponsorship from them, you can email us at brokenelevatorpod@gmail.com. You can find us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter at brokenepod. You can find me on Twitter at Sam the Man. You can find Wumi at Wumzum.
Yay!
Stella, where can we find you?
You can find me on Instagram at Stella_T.
Just to point out, she's not a random. She actually writes. She's a writer / comedian / like all sorts of stuff. Screenplay writer. Apparently, she's really funny. I still got to see her stand up.
Apparently.
What people have told me.
Oh, also, I can also say, actually, there's a link to my YouTube on my Instagram, so you can, like, click that link and you'll find out whether I'm funny or not.
What's your YouTube page?
Yeah, well, I've tagged my Instagram, so you just find it from there, innit? Dang! Like...
I'll put one of the videos on our blog as well.
Oh, sweet, okay.
Which you can find at thebrokenelevator.co.uk.
Sweet.
Yeah, so that is it for this week. We will see you next week.
Dum 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 da 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 dum da 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 da.